Right, Dr. Sara's here with some health stories that are making headlines. Morning to you.
Morning,
Lovely to see you this morning.
Sara.
OK, let's start with our first one then. We're understanding that proteins in the blood could provide early cancer warning by more than 7 years. A story in The Guardian this morning.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. So scientists at the University of Oxford studied blood samples of more than 44,000 people from the UK Biobank. And they also included 4,900 people who went on to develop cancer. And they compared the proteins of those that did and didn't get cancer and found that there were 618 proteins linked to 19 types of cancer, including colon cancer, lung cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and liver cancer. And they even found that 107 of those proteins were linked to cancers that were diagnosed more than 7 years after the blood test. So it can suggest to us that we could be potentially diagnosing what could be 7 years later.
I've actually had this done in America, and my doctor was telling me that they were trialling it on the NHS at the moment. And what he said is it's so brilliant because, A, they can identify that you have a problem before you have any symptoms at all. Therefore, time is on your side.
Exactly.
And secondly, the other thing is you don't then have to have things like mammograms and colonoscopies. And in the future, it will save the NHS so much money as well.
Or if you do know that you're at risk, you're more, you tailor it so that you have a regular mammogram, regular screenings, and ensure that you're safe.
It's a great idea, I think.
It's amazing.
Talking point number 2. Excessive drinking costs 27 billion a year. This is an article that was in the Times. New figures reveal that around 27 billion a year in England is being spent on combating the pressures of alcoholism.
Yes, the Institute of Alcohol Studies, the IAS, calculated drinking costs to the NHS were 4.9 billion a year, of which 3 billion was around alcohol-related trips to A&E or hospital.
Really?
So such a huge amount of money is being spent on things that are preventable. The official figures also showed that there have been 10,048 people in 2022 that died from alcohol-specific causes. So things do need to change. We need to manage this.
Remind us again of what the average man or woman should be drinking in terms of units. I know it's different depending on your size and how you sort of metabolise the alcohol itself.
Yeah, a general theme would be that we say no more than 14 units per week on a regular basis.
And what's a unit?
A unit, so 14 units is equivalent to about 6 pints of average strength beer or 10 small glasses of lower strength wine. So the ABV, which is what you'll usually see on the back of the label, alcohol by volume, is a measure of the amount of pure alcohol as a percentage of the volume of liquid in that drink. So if, for example, a bottle of wine says it's 12%, it means that there's 12% of liquid in the bottle that is pure alcohol.
OK, and so what can people do if they think they need some help with it?
Well, I think, firstly, see how you can, cut down yourself, try and spread your drinking throughout the week rather than, do binge drinking, things like that. But certainly if you want to try and cut down, have several drink-free days and also consider things like My Drink Aware app, which can help you spread out your alcohol use and help you cut down your alcohol use.
Is it better, do you think, Sara, to not necessarily drink every day and save your units up to spread them over a weekend, let's say?
We know that binge drinking can increase our risks of certain issues, so both to our health
Would 14 units be considered binge drinking? If I'm going to spread 14 units over 3 days, is that a bad thing?
Over 3 days?
Yeah, like over the weekend, if you say Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
OK, so I think with 14 units, that's where we feel like it's probably within a reasonable amount for our body to be able to metabolise well without any significant issues. But if you are drinking more than that and saving it up for the weekend, it's potentially going to cause health problems.
OK. The story in the Daily Mail about ultra-processed foods. British adults saying that they're addicted to ultra-processed foods. 1 in 6, apparently.
Yeah, and ultra-processed food includes things that tend to be high in fat, sugars, lower in protein and fibre, higher in salt, and they can also contain artificial colourings and preservatives and sweeteners. And they're in a lot of our ready meals, our sugary cereals, even just produced bread, and it's quite easy to get quite a lot of that in our diet, I suppose.
Cheaper too.
It's and it's
Cost is a
exactly
big part
cost
of
of
it.
It's a
living.
massive part.
Absolutely. But ideally, we want to be trying to find foods that we would find within our kitchen cupboards. You know, the ingredients that we could make something with. And if you don't understand what an ingredient is on that back of the packet, the likelihood is that it's probably part of an ultra-processed food. You know, ready meals, sausages, ice cream, all the things that we tend to eat quite regularly. Now, 9 in 10 said that they eat ultra-processed foods at least once a week. I think that's probably reasonable. Most of us probably do. But a quarter said that they have ultra-processed foods every day.
Right, but do manufacturers actually try and make them a little bit kind of like addictive almost in a way?
Well, as I said, they tend to contain the sugars, the salts, all the stuff that we kind of crave. So, and they tend to be fun colours for the kids and cool shapes and things like that. You know, a child looking at a bowl of cereal, if it's, you know, handmade granola versus one that looks like a teddy bear, you kind of know which one they're going to choose. And so you understand why this process happened.
Yeah.
Teddy bear. One last story then. I think we've just got time, and I think this is a good one for you, Kat, because you're not a great sleeper, are you?
No, I'm an awful sleeper.
Half of the people in their 50s, you're not quite there yet.
I will be if I don't get some sleep.
But they struggle to get a good night's rest, Sara.
I know, it's so awful. And 2 in 5 said that they feel more anxious as a result as well. And I can understand that because, you know, when you're not sleeping, it all self-propagates. There are a few things that one can do to try and help manage your sleep. So, number 1, breath work. So ensure that you're trying to breathe in this method called coherent breathing, where you breathe in for 6 seconds and then you breathe out for 6 seconds. So that's 5 breaths per minute in total. Your sleep posture is also really important. So try the dreamer pose. So that's where you lie in a side position in a kind of semi-fetal position with your knees bent up. And this puts less pressure on the spine, and if you then put a nice pillow in between your knees and the ankles, that'll help the pressure further.
That,
Yeah. And on your left side is supposed to be better than on your right.
Yeah, there's some thought of process that says that actually that allows the blood flow to the kidneys and the IVC, so different blood vessels to the organs flow better.
Yeah.
But I say, you know, whatever you're comfortable in, really, whatever gets you to sleep.
OK.
Rosie's teething at the moment, so I don't think she's getting that much
No,
sleep.
not much over there.
No. But that's when my problem
Rosie was
started
very
as
happy
well.
till you picked her up this morning,
I
and then
know.
she probably lost it.
She's like, get that crazy lady who comes and sniffs me
That's the
away.
tiger blood rising.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.